Welcome to another episode of the Lighthouse Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Hughley. To learn more about me, you can visit my website at ryanhughley.com. That's Huguley. Each Monday, we start the week with a contemplative prayer practice. So to that end, today we're going to sit with God through a Lectio Divina from Psalm 5, verses 1 through 3. Now, if this is your first experience with Lectio Divina, it's an ancient prayer practice that helps position us to sit with these verses more deeply and to hear from God more personally through them. But first, let's take just a moment and really position our hearts and our minds so that we are open and attentive to Him. If you feel comfortable, I want to invite you to close your eyes and just take a moment to arrive fully in this space and time, to truly be present here. As you're able, set aside any distractions or thoughts from the day. Maybe just imagine taking any burdens that you're carrying and gently placing them in God's hands, entrusting them to Him to hold for the next few moments. And just feel the way that enables you to be fully present and attentive to what He might want to say to you. Now, as you begin to settle into this moment, begin taking some deep, calming breaths. Notice any areas of tension in your body. And with each exhale, let that tension release just a little bit more. Continue to breathe deeply and become aware of God's presence with you right now. Imagine Him looking you in the eyes and saying to you, "I'm here and I'm listening." Just keep breathing and receiving these words from God. I'm here and I'm listening. Now, as we transition into our Lectio Divina, allow your breathing to return to its normal rhythm. And I'm going to read these verses a total of 4 times. We'll leave a moment of stillness in between. Just do your best to remain present to the Spirit. If you notice your mind wandering, that's totally normal. That's what our minds do. Just recognize that. Come back to your breathing and back to being present with God. Now, as you listen this first time, I invite you to notice the way that the psalmist opens this prayer. Notice how he cries out to God and waits in expectation. And just notice what phrase or image might stand out to you as you hear these verses. Listen now. Listen, God. Please pay attention. Can you make sense of these ramblings, my groans and cries? King God, I need your help. Every morning, you'll hear me at it again. Every morning, I lay out the pieces of my life on your altar and watch for fire to descend. In this second reading, notice the psalmist's expression of both his desperation for and trust in God's attentiveness. And where might this intersect with your life right now? What piece of your life do you need to bring to God today? Take a moment in the stillness that follows and offer that to him. Listen again. Listen, God. Please pay attention. Can you make sense of these ramblings, my groans and cries? King God, I need your help. Every morning, you'll hear me at it again. Every morning, I lay out the pieces of my life on your altar and watch for fire to descend. As you listen this time, notice how the psalmist starts his day by laying out his needs before God and then waits with hope. What might it mean for you to expect God's response to your prayer, whether immediately or over time? How might you watch for his answer? Listen again. Listen, God. Please pay attention. Can you make sense of these ramblings, my groans and cries? King God, I need your help. Every morning, you'll hear me at it again. Every morning, I lay out the pieces of my life on your altar and watch for fire to descend. As you listen this final time, I want to invite you to just simply rest in the awareness that God hears you and is with you. Notice how it feels to offer your prayer to God in this way, trusting that he is listening and will respond in his perfect timing. Listen again. Listen, God. Please pay attention. Can you make sense of these ramblings, my groans and cries? King God, I need your help. Every morning, you'll hear me at it again. Every morning, I lay out the pieces of my life on your altar and watch for fire to descend. Abba, thank you for always listening to our cries and for being present with us in every moment. Help us to bring our needs before you with trust and expectation, confident that you hear and respond. May we continue to seek your presence and wait with hope in our hearts. Amen. Well, thank you again for listening and allowing me to be part of your journey today. Feel free to stay in this quiet space and sit with God as long as you need. But I'm going to slip away. I'll see you next time.